Hello BookTube, this is my July reading plan. I'm going to start with manga, and the main manga that I want to read in July is Twin Star Exorcist by Yoshiaki Tsukino, starting from volume 16. I hope to get caught up with the series before the penultimate volume comes out in July, which I will get to in August. Normally, I would be focusing on the previous month's new releases of the various manga series that I actively follow. However, I managed to get all June's new releases read in June because the last volumes in that order came out the week before the final week of June, so I managed to get them in early and read. July is not going to be so nice. The final volumes comes out at the end of July, and so I won't be getting them until August. So I have 18 volumes left of Twin Star Exorcist to get caught up. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to devote a work week to reading 15 volumes and then worrying about the remaining 3 volumes at a later date, or take a weekend to read 12 and same thing with the resulting 6 books, or devoting a Saturday or a Sunday to reading 6 volumes and then working my way up to all 18. I have not quite decided what I want to do. It depends how the rest of my reading plan pans out, which I'll get to right now. So the big BookTube event for July that's not Jane Austen July is Rocket Summer, created by Michael K. Vaughan. In Rocket Summer, participants read vintage science fiction throughout the month. By vintage science fiction, it is meant science fiction published from the beginnings of science fiction, whether you cite that or you source it at the early 20th century with the pulps, or the later 19th century with Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, or the early 19th century with Frankenstein, or I guess if you're a dude bro or just one of those people, sourcing it at A True History by Lucian. And the end date is 1969. The idea is really to avoid the new wave of science fiction, which started in the 60s but really took off in the 70s. So a few weeks ago, I made a list, I made a video asking for advice on what to do, because I have not gotten on with science fiction or fantasy in a long time. I've just lost interest. And even when I was more passionate about science fiction and fantasy, vintage science fiction has never really done it for me. So I was trying to figure out, A, if I wanted to participate in Rocket Summer, and B, what I could select to try to make things work a bit better. And, well, that video didn't quite help me as much as I had hoped it would. So, I'm still with that dilemma. So, to revisit what I have. So, one option would be Out of the Dead City by Samuel R. Delany. I think this is a post-apocalyptic fantasy. And I think Delany is more or less new wave, so I think he's out. which also bumps up the chances for Dahlgren to be selected in August for my back to school reading project. Where if I decide to go with a more fiction heavy route, math, science, and computer science all argue for science fiction. And the same is true of Michael Moorcock, and I was planning on reading The Jewel in the Skull, part of the Hawkmoon series. Michael Moorcock is also a new wave writer, so he is also out. So that leaves me with either a reread of Lost Worlds by Clark Ashton Smith, which I haven't read in about 6 years, or selections appropriately timed from The Ascent of Wonder, edited by David G. Hartwell and Catherine Kramer. And so my idea would be to select 4 to 8 short stories and read them and then call it a day. Although I could theoretically use this to carry over into August. So that could be an idea as well. So I haven't quite entirely sure which of these I'm going to do. I haven't really settled yet. Another project I like to do in July, and this one is personal, is to read American literature. So starting with fiction, I'm hoping to redeem The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I tried to read this a few years ago and didn't quite work out, so maybe a reread will be more lucky. I'm also going to attempt a Bell redemption of Devotions by Mary Oliver. I had originally planned on reading this in June, and it didn't quite work out, but I am coming off of a successful Bell redemption from Sunday, so I'm looking forward to giving this book another look. I'd originally planned on including By Stone and Needle by Catherine W. Carter, her new work of poetry that releases today. Unfortunately, for some infuriating reason, Amazon is saying that I won't be getting the book until next week. And that's not making me happy. I wish I had been able to pre-order it with LSU, the publisher. For poetry and for drama, I'm planning on reading Picnic by William Ing, and The Skin of Our Teeth by Thornton Wilder. I have previously read Come Back Little Sheba by William Ing and Our Town by Thornton Wilder. Bridging this project and Historathon, I'm also hoping to redeem Our First Civil War by H.W. Brands. This is a history of the American Revolution, which I have previously bailed on. And I would also like to give Nancy Goldstone another look with In the Shadow of the Empress, which is about Maria Theresa. And I want to return to George III with A Royal Experiment by Janice Hadlow. And if things should change, I will of course report back during weekly reads how things pan out. But I think that's my reading plans. Sorry if I don't seem too terribly enthusiastic. I'm not having a great day today. Haven't been having a great day for weeks now. But hopefully things will improve this new month. But anyway, BookTube, hopefully tomorrow I will finally be able to conquer one of the things that have been plaguing me for months now. Even though I was hoping I could do one Monday and it didn't work out, but we shall see. Wish me luck. Anyway, BookTube, until I see you next time, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.